Now this, an exercise, I don't really do it. Maybe it's because I'm a guy and I feel like it's a girl exercise, which is silly, really. But, I mean, look right here.
Did you try to get it on the rep range of 10 to 15?
I think I did close to 20 and all, but, I mean
for every set. Of every drop set, that was the goal.
Every time you take a plate off, you try to do 10 more?
10 to 15.
Oh, for me, when I'm exhausted,
okay,
I'm done. So like, I would need to take half the plates off. If I do a set to failure and I rest for 20 seconds, I can't do one more rep.
Oh, okay.
It's like I was talking earlier, my energy systems are different than most people. When I'm done, I'm good for one hard set, and then I'm essentially done for the day. If all I did was that one set,
you would have done
and nothing else, and went all out, I wouldn't have to do another set for 3 days. Literally, one like really hard set, I would be sore for 2 or 3 days. So it's weird how my body works. I don't need a lot of volume. I just need like one set super hard. Like when I was a powerlifter, just do like really one good set of deadlifts a week and I'm good. Like
easier than last time.
Yeah, we'll watch you do this one. We'll show you how it's done. All right. You're set.
144 still, lowering. So one. I make sure to.
Wow, it's still that high. Holy goodness.
To breathe.
Oh.
The one with the weights, and let's get started.
Oh.
Yep.
She's just getting started. We're almost at 20 reps here and just starting. Remember, she's been going back and forth for like 15 minutes of exercises already. I'm dripping and we're just getting started here. It's important to progressive overload. Don't do this on your first day like me, because I'll be in a mess. You have to slowly over time adapt to going harder and harder. She's been doing this obviously for years, so it takes time to get used to going this hard. You don't want to do this on your first day in the gym. Ready? We need our emergency cooling system here. This is crazy. You get one more rep, extra cooling. When you're overheating, you can't push hard. Her heart rate is 193 right now. That's more than my maximum. This is insane. 193.
Lower.
One more set. She's not even done yet. 193. That's insane.
Come on.
I guarantee if I put her on a bicycle, she's going to set some records. There's so much power and endurance. This would be crazy. Heart rate's in the 190s. What did it get to?
Lower.
197 heart rate. 197. So my question is, how are you able to speak after doing like what's essentially a 2-minute all-out set with a heart rate of 190 something?
I control my mind. I say it's easy. You got this. No one crying, Greg.
So you're feeling it now. She's hiding it well. She's smiling, but inside she's hurting.
I usually don't talk, and that I can mitigate it very quickly. But since I'm talking and I'm expressing my feelings, you get to see my breathing better.
Oh yeah, you're feeling it.
I'm good.
This is a hard set.
Heart rate for 141 right now.
Wow.
So it is lowering.
Yeah, I mean 140 is still higher than the heart rate I did for my entire bike ride this morning.
Oh, okay.
So it's still, even though it's not as high as it was, it's still elevated, definitely. Do you know what your resting heart rate is? Like if you were to sleep and wake up, do you keep track of that?
38 to 40 something.
38 to 40. So I used to do triathlons competitively for 13 years in upper 30s, like 38.7, 8.9. That was my lowest of my life. And that's all I did was cardio. I was doing 20 hours of cardio a week. So you're at the same heart rate as I was at my peak performance when I was training all out just for triathlons.
That's amazing.
And she's lifting weights at the same time. So.
Well, it is just shows you that over time you get better at things and you can easily make anything happen, and just keep focused on your goal and keep going. Your body will react to whatever you're doing. Your goal and having fun. Because if you're not having fun, you won't do this for long.
Oh, absolutely. Like, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, if she hated all those sets, she wouldn't do them forever. There's only so long you can train if you don't like what you're doing. People will join New Year's resolutions, January, they'll train for a month, and then they quit because they don't like what they're doing. If you don't like lifting weights, it's okay. Just find something. Like, if you didn't like weightlifting weights, you like running, you might like bike riding, you might like track and field. There's always something. As long as you're out there and moving and getting fit, eating healthy, that's really what matters.
Exactly.
You're going to be addicted to a fan after this. You're like, I can't train without it. So you're doing a drop set here?
Uh-huh.
So are you going back by one plate each time, or you drop by more than one plate?
I'm dropping one plate at a
Only
time.
one plate. It's not a big drop. When I drop, because I don't have very good endurance that way, I take off 30% of my weight. So if I have 100, I drop to 70. If I had, say, 200, I would drop to 140. But you can see just a one plate drop, it's all she needs to keep going. For me, 3 plates I'd need to drop. Now, although she's training legs here, you can see the tricep development, just holding herself in place. Her arms are shredded. So even though she's focusing on hamstrings here, you're still working your upper body indirectly. Squats, for example, you're still working your back, your arms, your shoulders, even your chest, holding the weight in place. Total body exercise.
That's what I mentioned at the first thing at the video. When you do dumbbells, you're using your arms as well. So when you do machines, you get to focus more on the area that you're using. Hey. Hey.
Very slow eccentric here, getting that stretch, that burn. I like to do that on the last rep. I really get the most out of the final rep. And she's swollen, she can barely get her legs out.
Easy.
Crazy. So the way she's training, it reminds me a little bit of Eric Janicki, who does very long sets, sometimes 3 minutes long. However, the difference is Eric is very, very slow. He'll pause 10 seconds on a rep. What she does is kind of the opposite. Long sets, but lots of reps. So her volume is crazy. She's moving that weight steady, steady, steady. She's probably burning 500 calories plus during one single workout. And again, that's the slow eccentric on that last rep. She's getting the most out of it. I don't know if she's still moving at this point. I mean, you did 100 reps.
Yeah, kinda.
And she did 100 reps over there. I mean, it's like 200 reps.
That's for the other people to get and soak in and get the powers.
And so I highly recommend she gets one of these. Gotta get a fan.
Let's go to the kickbacks.
Coach that was similar, but she didn't have your cardio. Eva Dunbar, she's a IFBB pro in women's figure. She's a world champion powerlifter as well.
Okay.
She could lift like 500 and something deadlift, 330 bench press, like big numbers, but she couldn't do this cardio. But to see cardio and this much weight, it doesn't make sense.
I just love it because I don't find myself not doing cardio. It is just like what gets my energy off because I have so much energy in me that I have to accelerate it. I even do cardio after my cardio. So when I'm done, I use an electric muscle stimulator and I burn over 500 calories just.
I would love to see you do bike racing, like
I have
power, like the way I do it.
Mountain bike.
I mean, you're doing a stepper, and so it's very similar muscles, and so I think you could be like really good at it if you tried it.
So I will probably have to practice it a little bit.
It takes a little bit of time. There's a learning curve, but it would come fast, trust me.
So now we're gonna do this machine. We took a long break of 2 minutes.
Yeah, she's rested long. Her heart rate's down to like 130 now, you know?
So we are now gonna just nail this, and we're gonna mix this up with half squats, but we're gonna do a stance that is open, so we hit more of the hamstrings and the glutes instead of the quadriceps. We're still gonna use the quadriceps, but least because we're gonna spread our legs a little bit more.
I believe I got all my hamstring. I don't even train them now from years and years of doing sumo deadlifts. So she said she likes her feet wider out. This is what I was doing for deadlifts like that. So you get a lot less quads, focus more on the hamstrings. And so if you are doing sumo deadlifts, you're going to get more hamstring development than if somebody who's just doing deadlifts like this all the time. Less quads, more hamstrings, wider stance. Now this, an exercise I don't really do it. Maybe it's because I'm a guy and I feel like it's a girl exercise, which is silly, really. But I mean, look right here. You can see this line developing in the center. That's how lean she is. You see this is working the quads clearly. But obviously, The glutes, right where this is covering here, as she's extending, it's getting a contraction right at the glute hamstring. So this is what it's targeting. I rarely do this exercise. I've done it a few times to try it, but I did obviously feel a lot of quad as well. So it is going to do both versus exercises that you both legs. Like me personally, I prefer both because it's done all at once.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, like 30 seconds here and then 30 seconds there.
Definitely, but this one I have tried doing both and it is not that comfortable. You will probably be flying like Superman like this. So
I'll give this one a try.
It is light, so make sure to focus on those glutes and hamstring, even though you're using your quads as well.
Wow, my legs are absolutely fried. Like, I mean, I'm just warming up here and my quads feel like I've done like a 2-hour workout.
But you know, they look phenomenal. Every set is worth it. Get those details. Get those gains, Greg. Love it.
It's like
gains.
Train harder than last time. If I start as this my starting point, I'll never be able to keep training harder. This is the end result.
I always say train easy but smart. So I retied my bands and I'm doing the 24 minutes again.
My goodness. So
Look
in between sets, she's squatting with a weight over her head. I'll sit down and text on my phone. This woman's doing squats with a weight on top of her head.
I told you I take my training very seriously.
I feel like 45 minutes training like you would be more than most people do in an hour and a half. Do you normally train with like headphones or do you just like kind of go? Do you have music blaring?
I used to use them, but it was more for just to silence my mind.
Yeah.
But now I just go without headphones.
I can push way harder with music. If a really good song comes on, I have my hard set, I'm like, yes, go time. Especially on a bike.
Your heart goes like, oh yeah, I can do this. I can go more. So yeah, definitely use music, but if you don't have music, just go with, with the flow. I learned to not use music, not to depend on anything for my training. So I force myself just to quit music, quit everything, and just focus. Music is not bad. It is just my mentality to make it harder.
My goodness. Speaking of quitting, I quit caffeine for a month, detoxed completely, and it was hard. But then when I added caffeine back, I only used it pre-workout as a way to motivate me to go to the gym. And I save all my best music for my hard sets in the gym. And I can really push myself.
You look forward to it because you're like, I have my music and I look forward to listening to that music and getting that caffeine fix. So by saving it to your to your workout, it motivates you to just keep going on your training. And
so quick tip, save your caffeine, your best musics, all of this stuff for the gym, and you'll want to train even harder than last time.
Let's go to the machine.
All right.
We're gonna start with 2 plates and we're gonna up it up here, from here. And again, we're gonna do supersets. When we're done with this, we're gonna start doing back and triceps. Heart rate 132, lowering. So look at the stance. We're opening wider than last time.
Love it. It's basically like a sumo deadlift right here.
So I could go more, but it will be boring. Beautiful. So, okay, you're doing a great job, but if you want to use less of your quads, put it more up.
A bit higher, more hamstrings.
A little bit, yeah.
See, this is why I don't do it, because I always have the hamstrings. I on purpose, see for me personally, like my hamstrings are so well developed that I avoid doing that, but of course she's 100% right. This is much more hamstrings and less quads.
Yeah, you can actually see it.
When I train, I do the opposite. Oh my God, my hamstrings are just burnt. Oh, this feels like 500 pounds right now.
No.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Oh. Did I get in? I don't think. Putting a plate on each?
Yeah.
So are you still making progress? Like year after year, are you still making gains? Like are muscles getting bigger? Are you maintaining at this point?
So I recently did a natty stuff from Enhance, which is 380, Blackhawks, which is natural testosterone, and testosterone. So I have increased actually 12 pounds.
In the last year? Nice.
No, 6 weeks. I have it documented.
She's up 12 pounds and I'm down 2. So
Oh my gosh.
one of us is doing something wrong.
So yeah, definitely a lot of it probably is water, but I know that it has been also muscles because I've seen it on the mirror.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times when you gain some weight and people say it's not muscle, it's water, the muscle is about 80% water. And so if you add more water into the muscle, is it not actually muscle?
Exactly.
I mean, you can debate it, people can argue it. I put on 5 pounds in a month and it was all in the muscle and I was stronger and I felt better. I didn't have any water retention. And so was it actually muscle? I mean, it was water in the muscle. Same as creatine. Some people gain
Exactly.
5 pounds on creatine.
So people say creatine is not natural. Probably it's not natural, but it is a source that you get on foods, but in a more concentrated amount. So yeah, it might be artificial, but it's something that your body requires and needs to grow muscles. So you give or take if it's natty or not.
Yeah, creatine is found in food and meats, for example. If you take a supplement with creatine, is it not natural? Well, it's in nature. NMN, which we just discussed, that's found in small amounts in food as well. So is that not natural? Well, it's not banned by WADA. So for me, if you can take something in a drug-tested sport and they allow it, then you're natural. That's where I draw the line. Like caffeine is a drug and you're allowed to take it. And we're okay with that, but it is a drug. So are you natural if you drink caffeine? I mean, it's up to you, you decide. And meanwhile, people are drinking alcohol or smoking cigarettes, and they're gonna judge us if we drink caffeine or take creatine, like really?
And I'm like, pick your poison, guys.
Alcohol is a known carcinogen. It's a tier 1 problem. Basically, one of the worst things you can do, but yet it's legal. People do it all the time. They brag about how drunk they were. And they're going to judge people for taking supplements. But meanwhile, alcohol is guaranteed, without question, bad for you. So, you know,
and if you're
judge who you want.
If you're using alcohol, make sure to cover that liver with vodka or something like that.
Yeah, Tudka would be good.
Yeah.